Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Mad Men Film Breakdown, presented by Mad Men Sports. I'm Brian Sullivan, and today we are talking about an underrated unit in the NFL right now, in a league where defense is very hard to find. The Buffalo Bills have one of the most well-rounded and talented defenses in the league. And I know what you might be thinking. How can the 19th ranked scoring defense in the league be considered good or underrated? They're allowing 25 points per game. And that's fair. But when you consider the fact that they have one of the most abysmal offenses in the NFL, which means their defense is on the field more often than not, and you consider some of these other stats, that they're second in yards per play allowed in the whole NFL at 4.9, and second in opponent yards per pass attempt at 6.1, that's pretty impressive. And they're actually 12th in total rushing defense at 99.8, which again is pretty impressive considering how many games where they were down and their offense couldn't score, which means it's very rare that teams are trying to come back against the Bills. You don't see the Bills up 21-3, and you don't see teams having to throw the ball. Teams run the ball against the Buffalo Bills, and the fact they're still close to the top 10 shows how much talent. So that's first. And second of all, I'm not going to spend this video telling you guys stuff that you already know. There are veterans on this team that we already know are good players. Jerry Hughes is having another phenomenal season, and he's signed until next year. He's 30 years old. Star Latualele, he's 28 years old. He's had a big impact, and he's signed until 2022 on a pretty big contract. Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer, one of the better safety duos in the entire league, both 27 years old. Both Poyer signed until 2020, Micah Hyde signed until 2021, and Tre'davius White, yes, he's young, he's still only 23, and he's on that rookie deal, but he's a player that we already know. I mean, he was in the running for Defensive Rookie of the Year last year if he didn't win it. So we already know that he's a talented player. I'm not going to spend time telling you guys stuff that you already know. What we're going to do today is we're going to focus on some of these other young players that maybe don't get enough attention, and especially considering that Lorenzo Alexander and Kyle Williams, two of their biggest contributors, who are both 35 years old, are free agents this year, and they might not be seeing time with the Bills next year, looking at some of their potential replacements. And the three players we're really going to focus on for this video are the first rounder, Tremayne Edmonds, Matt Milano, a former fifth-round pick who's still only 25 years old, the linebacker, and Harrison Phillips, the defensive tackle. Those are really the three players that have really jumped out on film to me, as two of them are just already phenomenal players already, really good players, and why Tremayne Edmonds, when he puts it all together, could end up being the best player on this defense. So we'll get to that, and let's start right here. So let's talk about one of the biggest steals of this NFL draft, defensive tackle Harrison Phillips out of Stanford, a third-round pick. I quite frankly thought he was worth a first-rounder. He was just always an intelligent player at Stanford, just looked like an NFL player out there, looked bigger than everybody else, and I was mind-blown that he fell to the third round. And honestly, it's great. He gets to be the successor to Kyle Williams if Kyle Williams does decide to leave, and he really brings a lot to the table, and you're not always going to see it on the stat sheet, but what he does is he's just a disruptor, and again, his combination of strength and football IQ are pretty absurd. So here's this first one right here. Keep an eye on him right there, number 99, and just watch his strength here as he kind of pushes that guard back, utilizes his leverage, and collapses any sort of lane for the rusher, Jordan Howard. He makes it look too easy, and even just the way that he's kind of able to use that other arm to kind of push aside this other lineman to create a one-on-one situation for himself there, that is really some insanely impressive man strength for such a young player. Now here's going to be another one right here. Why don't you keep an eye on him right here, number 99 again, and just watch the way he completely clogs up Cordarrelle Patterson's rushing lane, and then has the wherewithal to disengage at the right time to help get in there on the run stop. Again, right here, he pushes back, and the second you see Cordarrelle start to turn, that's when you're going to see him, Phillips, get ready, and he has that nice bend, his ability to just kind of break off and get right in there and leapfrog, and those long arms as well helps him kind of wrap up very easily. Really impressive stuff right there. So moving on to this next one, keep an eye on him right here. It's easy to spot him because he's wearing those sleeves. This is just another example of his high football IQ. His breakaway, and he comes in for the stop. Now I want you to watch this one more time. Watch as the play is running, and this is where I want to stop it, is right here. Sorry, let me go back. Right here is when you see Howard avoid this hole, and it's very apparent that he's going to go to the outside. And that's when you see, if you go back just a second earlier, you see Harrison kind of looking at the hole, keeping an eye on it, getting ready to toss that lineman aside if Howard does decide to go through this hole. Instead, Howard decides to go outside because he sees number 78 here getting beat, and Phillips immediately turns his man over, just almost always has complete control over the lineman he's doing work against. This one right here, keep an eye on him right there, is just going to be an example of his balance. Watch as he gets cut block here, and he still manages to stay up, maintain his balance, and come in for a vicious tackle. Two linemen kind of get on him. He uses those arms again to kind of toss him aside, although 62 is not really going for him anyway. Goes right for his knees, legal block, but he goes up, wraps up, makes a nice stop along with another man. And then this one right here, the way he handles double teams, and he's double teamed a lot. Sometimes he doesn't do much, but it's the fact that he commands them so much, it creates open opportunities. The amount of times I saw Shaq Lawson get just some easy lanes to the runner because of Phillips was pretty absurd. But right here, watch the way he splits this double team, stays upright, tosses them both aside, and gets in for the rusher. That is such incredible lower body and core strength, and really impressive hand strength as well. Concentration to get through both of them, stay upright, not be phased. That is so impressive. This guy has a really big ceiling, and again, the more playing time he gets, the more impressive he looks. And it's especially impressive considering that he's on the field so much. And if the Bills start to get some more offensive fluidity going where they can stay on the field more, we see a fresher Harrison Phillips. He's clearly a very intelligent player who's only going to get better. Keep an eye on him because he could be something special. Now let's talk about a linebacker that nobody really talks about outside of Buffalo, and that's Matt Milano, former 5th-round pick out of Boston College, and he is really a very intelligent player. Again, credit to Brandon Beane, the general manager, for finding these really talented and smart young players. Credit to Leslie Frazier for unleashing the best out of them. And say what you want about Sean McDermott and his offensive decisions, but credit to him for putting the smartest guys on the field out there. And again, watching Matt Milano play, he has a really unique blend of intelligence, football IQ, and athleticism. And just watch him right here on this one, and watch the way he reads this read option play, this little option pitch play with Trubisky and Cohen here. And he has the explosiveness to go in there and make the stop. Now, I want you to watch this one more time. There are a lot of players, let's go right here, where they might just go right inside, especially considering that this linebacker really should be the one responsible for Cohen, this linebacker, defensive back. But instead, he has the patience. He realizes that if Trubisky tries to fake him out, he's going to get him. And instead, right when the ball is flicked, immediately he goes for him and understands what's going on and makes a nice, solid tackle right there. This one, not anything crazy, but he's going to see the gap open up, and he's going to go right in for the run stop. Gets right by James Devlin. Doesn't do anything about it. That, again, is just pure explosiveness. Clearly, the ball is supposed to go more outside as you're seeing James Devlin go over here. But because Milano is so explosive, he reads that play perfectly. He gets right in for a nice run stop there. Again, went unblocked, but still really nice explosiveness and understanding of what was going on there. Now, this is probably one of my favorite plays, and albeit it was a bad throw, but keep an eye on Milano right here. He's going to be responsible for guarding Gronk. So here you have Gronk, and here you have Milano. Now, watch the way, first he kind of just pushes him, checks him at the line of scrimmage, throws him off his route, and then he's able to break on that route, get in there, and he understands that it's nothing but goal line back there. There's no point in being conservative. If this was at the 50-yard line, maybe he goes back and tries to make the tackle. He realizes, though, either Gronk's going to catch a touchdown or he's got to break up that pass. So instead of him playing conservatively, he jumps right in, breaks up that pass. And again, it was a low outside throw, but the reason it had to be is because it was some very good coverage. Now, if Brady had maybe thrown it a little higher, maybe Gronk can make a circus catch over him, and really there are very few players in the league now, let alone in league history, that can guard that. But really nice awareness on that play. And again, what really helped, and the reason that throw was off as well, is again, just this physicality at the beginning, having the, guts to just go out there, check Gronk, throw him off his route. Really nice stuff. This last one here, again, this isn't so much football IQ, this is just pure strength. A lot of this you've seen is explosiveness and his IQ, but this one, just keep an eye on him right here, is just pure strength as he tosses aside this guard and makes a run stop there. Having that kind of upper body strength and lower body strength for that matter, that type of technique at such a young age, only 25, to be able to toss aside a man who's probably has at least 50 pounds on him is so impressive. And we all want to talk about Tremayne Edmonds, who we're actually about to get to, the first-round pick, and he obviously has a massive ceiling, but right now, Milano is really the linebacker who is making plays for Buffalo and who already appears to be an absolute baller. So let's talk about the second first-round pick for the Buffalo Bills, Tremayne Edmonds, who is still a very young player. And I'm just going to come out and say that he is not a great player right now. And unlike some of those players I just showed you, he still has a lot to learn. The game still plays a little too fast for him. And that's very understandable when you're drafted at such a young age. But I'm going to show you why, again, he has such a high ceiling. Because he has traits that you can't teach. You can learn and adjust. I like that they're giving him so many reps. They should keep putting him out there, especially since this is essentially a lost season. I completely understand and agree with them putting him out there, even if maybe there are better, more experienced linebackers that could give them a slightly better chance to win now. Their offense is what's holding them back from winning. So here's a play right here where you're going to watch, and really this is just very poorly timed by Edmonds on this throw, and he still manages to make a play on the ball. Now look, when he jumps really a second too early. He should be able to pick that ball off. Based on where it is, based on where he is. He doesn't even have to turn around just yet. That's a very poorly thrown ball. But look, even though he timed it poorly, he's still, because his arms are so long, and because he got up so high, he's still able to tip it. And that's some nice, good just concentration and instincts as well. And a year from now, when he's more used to the game, more used to the game speed, that's an interception. And because of how athletic he is, he's probably going to get you a big return as well. A good play that was a bad play that turned out being a good play because of just how athletic he is. And again, it's not a big deal. Now, if he's still doing that 3-4 years down the line, maybe you have a problem because you can only be so athletic. But he's learning. He's a youngster, and as talented as some of these other young guys are, like Harrison Phillips, his football IQ is off the charts. Most young players do not have the understanding of the game that he does. It's very understandable that Edmonds makes that mistake this early in the year. So here's another one right here. Keep an eye on him. These are just two where it just shows his pure athleticism. Look how quickly he explodes and gets there to make that stop on that little flat route to the running back. Again, you can't teach that kind of speed. Players can run more, they can do plyometrics and all that, and they can get a little faster, but you can't teach that type of speed. And again, a man this big should not be that fast. He reads the play quickly. Now, if, they did some sort of fake there, Edmonds might have bit on it, and he might leave a huge open area in the middle of the field. But you know what, again, he'll learn, he'll watch more film, he'll grow and develop. That type of speed is absurd. And here's going to be one more right here. Keep an eye on him right there. Watch again. Little pitch out route to that little flat route to the tight end, and he gets out there so quickly, along with a few others. He's just so athletic. He's already a pretty sound tackler, and he's only going to get better. The sky is really the limit for Tremayne Edmonds. So what's the real point of this video? The point is, Buffalo, listen to me, use every single draft pick on offensive players. Unless somebody absurd, and like a Derwin James situation, who I couldn't have been more wrong about. Unless a Derwin James situation happens where you're in the second round and a player who should have been drafted in the top 15 falls to you, fine, take them, I guess. But barring an unusual situation, just draft offense. Get more linemen, get more weapons, because this defense is fine. And if you get more offensive fluidity going, you get more time of possession, you're able to have more consistency on offense, you're able to score the ball, put pressure on the opponents, this defense is going to be even better. They have plenty of young players, plenty of veterans on long-term deals. Even if you let Lorenzo Alexander and Kyle Williams walk, you have plenty of other talent and plenty of cap space as well to go out there and make some signings. Draft offense, sign offense, build up that offense, make life easy for Josh Allen, and we might have ourselves a real team in Buffalo next year. Thank you so much for watching, guys. All the information on where you can follow me and stuff is in the bio below. Really appreciate you watching, and make sure you tune in next time. We'll have something for you soon. See you soon.